Welcome back. This is the weekend edition of the South African Morning here on ENCA. If you have just joined us, we're in the second hour, 22 minutes after 7 on a Saturday. Mphethi Morojele is a prominent South African architect known for his innovative and sustainable designs. In fact, this award-winning architect designed the iconic Freedom Park Museum in Pretoria. His designs are not just focused on functional and beautiful, but also sustainable and socially responsible. Later in the year, he'll be showcasing his work at the Venice Biennale's International Architecture Exhibition. He joins us live right now. A very good morning, sir, and thank you so much for your time. I imagine this is a very important event in the architectural calendar. Talk to me about how your name has found itself on there.
Good morning. Yes, it is quite an important, I think it's probably the most prominent architecture exhibition globally, where architects from all over the world come together to discuss the latest trends in architecture, the concerns around developments of cities, etc. And I guess my name got on there because the focus this year was on Africa and on what they call the laboratory of the future. So they're looking at Africa as the future because of its rapid urbanization and development.
And obviously the firm's work is focused on designing buildings that are not only functional but beautiful. And you talk a lot about sustainability. What informs all of that?
Well, I think when we talk about sustainability, there's what they call the triple bottom line, which is environmental sustainability, it's social sustainability, and economic. So what that means is that whatever we're building now should take into consideration both the ecological, the social, and the economic sustainability.
And obviously, the exhibition itself is very prestigious, Morojele. When we talk about the most notable projects that have gotten you this far, which you'll be showcasing in Venice later in the year, what would those be? What's top of mind for you?
Well, top of mind, the exhibition is really about just south of Johannesburg, in the Suikerbosrand Nature Reserve. There was a discovery by archaeologists from Wits University of an ancient Tswana settlement, which dates back some 500 years, but which is hidden to the naked eye for the most. But using this new technology called LiDAR, it's kind of like an X-ray technology. They were able to uncover the ruins of this settlement, which up to now nobody had known was actually there 500 years ago. Settlement of about 50,000 people that was just south of Johannesburg. Right now, if you go there, there's practically nothing you can see with the naked eye. So really the exhibition is about revealing the African settlements that used to exist, which are no more visible to the eye. And it's kind of a testament to a lot of the land claims that happened, including with my family, where there had been no kind of technological evidence that these settlements used to exist. But now with this new technology, we're able to show that these settlements actually existed and that there were people who were settled in these areas.
And that will be a very important part of history moving forward, pertaining especially to the land claims. When we talk about the Mapungubwe interpretation of your work and what you've done in the Limpopo province, a lot of people obviously just saying it is a magnificent site, but I would like to hear it from you as the designer of it. It came from your brains, you're the creative behind it. How did it come about?
Actually, Mapungubwe, the chief designer was an architect called Peter Ridge. I think my work more focused was around the Freedom Park project, which has similarities with the kind of design intentions of Mapungubwe. And this is really trying to use indigenous knowledge, working with anthropologists, working with traditional healers, working with organic intellectuals, to try and see how we can develop an architecture that relates to us and relates to the place itself. This is more like a movement that not only myself but other architects are interested in, is to develop a new architecture that comes from our own kind of narratives, our own kind of mythologies, our own histories.
And for young architects who are watching you this morning on the South African Morning here on ENCA, Morojele, what advice do you have for them? Is there a sustainable work environment for an architect in the country, on the continent? We know that there's a lot of work being commissioned, if you will, elsewhere in first world countries. What advice would you have for them?
Well, this continent is the most rapidly growing continent and the most rapidly urbanizing. We have the youngest population on average in the world. So it's obvious that there's a lot, the future is on this continent. Apart from South Africa, there's in other parts of the continent, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of development. And it's exciting because we need to rethink the way we urbanize and the way we design. The kind of rapid urbanization that happened in Europe happened, during the Industrial Revolution. And now in Africa, it's happening during the fourth Industrial Revolution. So there's a whole leapfrog that we have to do as a continent that's urbanizing during kind of a digital era. So I think it's quite an exciting moment for architecture and for city development. And I think there are a lot of opportunities. I think also the skills that you gain as an architect can be transferred to other areas. So I think whether you end up designing buildings or you end up being a strategic thinker or you end up designing other things, I think the skills that you develop will allow you to participate in this new and exciting world.
Mphethi Morojele chatting to us this morning. Thank you so much for your time. He is a renowned, prominent South African architect. His work will be showcased in Venice later this year in an international exhibition.